Call of Duty has a ton of sniper rifles. There have been some pretty iconic ones. The Intervention, the MSR, the Ballista, the M4A3, I could go on and on. But what about the fantastic snipers that nobody used? What about the snipers that were overshadowed? What about the snipers that were slept on? Well, today we're going to take a look at those sleepers. Welcome to the channel, everybody. Jimmy or Chaos. We're going to go over 10 of the best sleeper snipers in Call of Duty history. Those are the snipers from the franchise that were awesome, had so much potential, but they were overshadowed by the community at large for one reason or another. We're going to try to pinpoint those reasons, so you let me know in the comments which of these snipers you use the most, regardless if anybody else knew they were really good. Drop a like, make sure you're subscribed, and at number 10, the lever action in COD World War II. Now, I'm pretty sure COD World War II had the most DLC guns of any game in COD history. A lot of those DLC guns were snipers. The lever action had a very quick fire rate compared to the bolt action snipers in COD World War II. Had some really good handling too, but that one-shot kill range, it was pretty small. Usually only giving you an insta-kill if you hit somebody in the upper torso or the head. It also required you to load each bullet individually instead of using a magazine or a stripper clip like the other snipers in COD World War II. That meant there was a lot of downtime in between your fights. And yet, I always thought there was something cool about this gun. Maybe it was the smooth handling. Maybe it was the animations. But the lever action had a ton of potential for really cool clips and very aggressive playstyles. Wasn't the best sniper in the game, not even close. But it was viable. I think it fits the criteria of being a sleeper sniper. And I already know the comments are coming. I'm going to name some of these. You're going to be like, that wasn't a sleeper, that was overpowered. What are you talking about? At number 9, the M21 EBR in the original Modern Warfare 2. Let's talk about an overshadowed weapon here. When you think of snipers from Modern Warfare 2, you automatically click off the Intervention and the Barrett 50 cal. Maybe some of you think the WWII 2000 because of the goofy shape, but nobody thinks about the M21 EBR. Now, since this is Modern Warfare 2, where everything was broken, everything was overpowered, the M21 was totally capable of some insane gameplays. And if you're one of the people still playing Modern Warfare 2 through the IW4X project on PC, go give the M21 one more look. Despite having the lowest base damage of all the snipers in Modern Warfare 2, the M21 was still capable of some pretty insane clips. I mean, it dealt a very intimidating 70 base damage without stopping power, made it a 2-shot kill to the body, 1-shot kill to the head. Also had almost no recoil, no fire rate cap, so you could hit those 2-shot kills super quickly, assuming you didn't just pop somebody in the head for an insta-kill. If you were the kind of person who liked to sit back at a power position, camp, whatever, hold down objectives from afar, the M21 was pretty good. Obviously wasn't going to keep up with the Intervention or the Barrett 50 cal up close or even at mid-range, but for the slower, more methodical player, I think it was super underrated. At number 8, the SVD in Black Ops 6. Yeah, the sniping community in BO6 is starting to figure out very quickly which guns are the best and which of the bolt actions are the strongest, but this sniper, nobody's talking about. The SVD, better known as the Dragunov. I've had a bit of a vendetta against the Dragunov in the Black Ops series, or the sub-series that is, but the Black Ops 6 version is probably the best the franchise has seen to date. And even though it gets overshadowed by the bolt actions, it has sauce. It has a lot of sauce in the right hands and with the right attachments. The SVD will kill with 2 shots to the body, 1 shot to the head from basically any distance on the map. Now the kick is high, yes, by default. You only need a couple attachments to tone it down. Make it a lot easier to hit those follow-up shots. I've seen people kit out their SVD like a standard semi-auto rifle and play aggressively, but I've also seen people kit out their SVD for low recoil and idle sway so they can pop enemy players from across the map for insta-kills or hefty assist. You may be sleeping on it. I know it's early to call, but actually it's kind of early to call it slept on, but since the game's been out for a couple weeks, I wanted to put it on here. At number 7. The AS-50 in the original Modern Warfare 3, all the way back in 2011. I love talking about this gun whenever I get the chance. It's not very often because I always thought it was slept on, and while it's getting some retroactive love over the last couple years, I would still argue it's one of the most slept on snipers in COD history during the heyday of Modern Warfare 3. The AS-50, semi-auto sniper, slowest handling and lowest scope zoom of any sniper in the game, but it also had some of the lowest idle sway of any sniper in the game too. Had the highest base damage in its class, plus with a couple perks and proficiencies equipped, you could offset that slow base movement and take full advantage of the insane 1-shot kill range and that low scope zoom, which made it super strong in close and mid-range scenarios. It was beefy. For traditional long-range sniping, kind of struggled. But on the smaller maps like Dome, like Hard Hat, This rifle was actually kind of nuts because of how easy it was to instantly kill people without sacrificing your peripheral vision when using the scope. But since it's going up against the MSR and going up against the L118A, most people skipped right over it. And segue, speaking of Modern Warfare 3 snipers that people skipped over, at number 6, the Dragunov in the original Modern Warfare 3. Some of you probably forgot the Drag was even in the original Modern Warfare 3. And even though I've always hated the Black Ops versions of the Drag, the Modern Warfare versions have been way more consistent. The Modern Warfare 3 Dragunov was stuck in the middle of the progression system, so a lot of people skipped right on over it in favor of the bolt actions, but there was a dedicated few that actually made this their main. They mainly threw on the ACOG scope and treated it like a beefier version of an MK14. In fact, the Modern Warfare 3 Drag was very similar to the M21 EBR from Modern Warfare 2 that we talked about earlier. It dealt 70 base damage, insta-kill to the head, no fire rate cap, you could spray as fast as you wanted to. The main difference was the fact that the Modern Warfare 3 Drag had a decent amount of kick, so it was a bit harder to hit follow-up shots from a distance. But if you were running the ACOG scope and treating it like an MK14 on steroids, you could quickly see the potential. It was never the most popular sniper in the game, but it did have some magic in the right hands, and I would even argue it's one of the best Dragunovs in COD history. Now we arrive at the top 5. All the Dragunov love today. The Dragunov in Modern Warfare 2019. Now, Modern Warfare had a lot of extremely different snipers, but the Dragunov, to me, flew directly under the radar, at least from my point of view. I could honestly argue that this version of the Drag was the best in COD history because just the sheer number of attachments available and the quick time to kill in Modern Warfare that made it extremely good at scoring insta-kills from basically any distance. The 2019 Drag had some hefty recoil by default, yes. Some brutal IELTS way too, but some of those things could be more or less mitigated or erased with a couple attachments, at which point you're running an extremely strong DMR with a pretty generous one-shot kill range. The game said that the Dragunov was a one-shot kill to the head. If you actually used it, you remember getting a lot of one-shot kills to the chest and the upper torso, especially if you were running the stopping power field upgrade. So yes, I do have a personal vendetta against the Dragunov because of all my horrible memories from the Black Ops 1 version, but even I can admit when a Dragunov is slept on. I'll always admit that the 2019 version was super slept on. It was honestly kind of nuts if you had the right attachments. At number 4, the SDM in Black Ops 4. Semi-auto snipers are always kind of a hard-selling games where the time to kill is longer, and I think that's why a lot of people looked right on past the SDM. The game had the longest time to kill of any Call of Duty multiplayer to date, so a semi-automatic sniper with low fire rate caps, I mean, that naturally turned people off. But if you played slow, stuck to the longer lines of engagement, the SDM was actually pretty good, especially since it could land a one-shot kill to the head, which was super powerful in a game like Black Ops 4, where basically every other gun in the game would have to hit people 5 to 6 times. The kick on it, very low. You could reliably tag people once or twice before they could return fire, and since you only needed 2 body shots to kill, 2 shots were all you needed. And again, if you had good aim and could stay high, you could rack up the insta-kill headshots. Most snipers in Black Ops 4 were either running the Paladin or the Koshka, but lots of people were sleeping on the SDM. At number 3, the SVUAS in Black Ops 2. I feel like I've done a decent amount of damage control for this gun over the years on Chaos Top 10 lists, and yet it never seems to get any less underrated. The SVU is a semi-automatic sniper, Black Ops 2. Insane potential, always overshadowed by the other 3 snipers in the game, which I get, that's understandable since the other 3 snipers in the game were the trifecta, the Ballista, the DSR, and the XPR-50. Pretty easy to get overshadowed, yeah. But the SVU? I don't know, kind of magical in the right hands. If you weren't a good sniper, you could still get work done. Fire rate cap high, killed with 2 shots to the body, always an insta-kill to the head regardless of distance, and on top of that, the idle sway and recoil were low, so it was easy to find a vantage point, tag people from a safe distance, perhaps you were using the dual band scope or the ballistic CPU to keep your accuracy as tight as possible. Pretty hard to justify taking the SVU into battle over the other mentioned snipers, but I think there was a stigma around this gun because of how strong the others were. The SVU was no slouch. At number 2, the Barrett 50 cal in Modern Warfare 3, the original. It was an iconic sniper rifle that appeared throughout the Call of Duty franchise, always been powerful, or at least it was a very powerful weapon until the modern COD era. For some reason, the last few Barretts have been super underwhelming or just flat out bad, like the Rytec AMR in Modern Warfare and the M82 in Black Ops Cold War, and that is kind of awkward because COD 4 and Modern Warfare 2 Barretts were monsters. But the Barrett nobody talks about is the MW3 version that was significantly nerfed from the first 2 Modern Warfare games, but it was still strong in the right hands and with the right perks. The Barrett 50 cal was your starting sniper rifle in Modern Warfare 3, much heavier than the previous versions, which noticeably reduced your movement speed. However, Still had insane one-shot kill range, huge magazine, super high rate of fire, and there were perks and proficiencies you could use to buff up the movement and speed and make it just as fast handling as it always was. A lot of people passed over the Barrett because of one of the early sniper unlocks. I mean, it was the bolt action. It was the L118A, which quickly became a fan favorite, and then obviously we had the iconic SMR that you had to get a few more levels under your belt to get. But the Modern Warfare 3 Barrett was slept on. I think it's a shame. It was powerful. No, it wasn't as good as the COD 4 or the Modern Warfare 2 versions, but who cares? Those were just insane. This was still good. And at number 1 today, the most slept on sniper rifle in COD history and the coolest is the Outlaw in Black Ops 4. This has to be the definition of a sleeper sniper rifle because there seems to be a very drastic split in the community over whether or not it was good. Fastest firing bolt action sniper in COD history. But it also had the smallest one-shot kill range of any bolt action in COD history, which obviously caused a huge divide. On one hand, somebody with good aim could pop enemies in the head one after another, pop, 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 get insane clips. But on the other hand, someone with average aim like me was just going to get hit marker after hit marker, and that could get frustrating. The Outlaw was widely hated by the majority of Black Ops 4 players because of that high skill ceiling, but there was a portion of the community that just loved it. You either hated the gun or you never used it, or it was your favorite sniper and you swore by it. There really wasn't any in between with the Outlaw. I think that makes it worthy of the top spot on today's list. It was very hard to use. Not many people were actually running it, but those that did knew how slept on it was. And there you have it. Tell me 1 or 2 sleeper sniper rifles that I slept on and didn't put on the list, and I'll see you soon.